Very forgetful.
So before we start, like and subscribe, or Aaron will come peep through your window. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Evolution of Creation. This is episode...
13, right?
13, lucky 13. We've finally made it to 13, and 13 is special because I have finally finished composing La Vita E Bella.
Finally.
Thank God. And it's been a while. I mean, the song's not done, but at least the writing part, for the most part, is done.
You want to pick us back up where we left off, bro?
Yes!
We
haven't done this in a while, so...
It's been a while!
Don't sing the whole song, man. Like, they're gonna pull off video.
No, just one line, yeah. It's a bit out of tune too.
So I think where we were last time was around here. You guys remember that? That little nice breakdown bit? So we are coming to the finale, right? And what I did at the end of that was use a bit of the Spitfire BBCSO timpani.
Timpani?
Let's have a listen what I did here, because I don't remember honestly. So it's just a bit of... Is that it? This is so...
I don't even know what you did, bro.
Throw that. Just...
So is that, because I can see you've highlighted timpani and snare, but that sound was timpani, right?
Yeah, that's just the timpani. It says snare because it's all under the percussions there, and I just labeled it snare for the earlier bit where I was playing the snare. If we go to here... Yep. So all of this is just we're coming in from this slow section as you've heard before. I'll just play a little bit of it. And we're just using the timpani to, like ramp it up, starting... Yeah, it took me a while to get the rolls right.
Well, I mean, because the last episode was, we left off at this cool down, calm down middle section.
Yep.
So now is the final quaking orgasm.
Building it back up, and I will say, like, it's very Hans Zimmer influenced,
Really?
I took a few of, his things that he likes to do. So what I've done over here on the screen, you'll see is there is a bit of a volume ramp up. Actually, I'll zoom in a bit closer.
It's going for a closer look, mate.
Yeah. Gone too far now. Here. So you get that kind of like build. Now we go into the final section. Let's make the screen smaller because I don't know where I am.
It's been a while since you've been on this project, hasn't it?
It is.
So talk us through a little bit. When was the last time when did you finish this?
I finished this probably like a month ago.
So still last year?
Yeah, and I haven't come back to have a look at it since. I mean, we started filming the last few episodes on the other stuff, on Night Gaunts.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't actually reopened this project since then.
Have to blow the dust off it, mate.
Yes. So in our final thing, now one thing that I really like that Zimmer does is, I don't know what you call it. It's like a hi-hat, like a really electronic hi-hat.
Mm.
Oh,
it's like that Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's like a really high, fast-paced pulse.
If I can just find it.
This is a different song. So that one.
It's this one. It's here. So basically, what I'm doing with my fingers is like a paradiddle.
What's a paradiddle, bro?
It's a drum pattern, drum rudiment that goes right, left, right, 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 left, 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 right, left, right, 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 left. Actually, it could be left, right, left, left, but
wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. So I played it slow, quantized it a little bit. You get this. So the thing is, the song still is in a 75 BPM tempo, but putting this hi-hat in, I've used GarageBand's trapdoor, which is obviously it's a trap drum kind of preset. That's where you get a lot of like, and that kind of trap signature hi-hat, I guess. But if you look down here, we've just kind of played around with the effects a bit, the low cut filters, and turned up some of the EQ.
Well, the way it's used in the song, yeah, I think anyone who's familiar with Zimmer's work will hear that spillover influence.
Of course, the hollow pumper comes back, which with the hi-hat really gives it that kind of trap music feel.
Man, that's a banger.
Get high in the club. Shit, bust nut.
I mean, like, you can't even say that's like an oversimplification of Lil Wayne songs. If anything, I think that gives it more depth.
I think just these two tracks right here, we've got a Lil Wayne song.
Yeah.
Like, just... Come on.
I'm high as a kite. Shit, I bust a nut. Don't dead on me.
That's a hit right there.
Oh no, you know what? That's a Billie Eilish song.
Ooh.
And you just have to throwing shade at all the Billie Eilish fans out there. That's not music, right? That's 2 lines.
I'm not gonna comment on that one.
I will.
Alright, but so we have that electronic trap thing going on with those 2 tracks, but the rest of it is still very much symphonic, yeah? We continue our piano and labs ensemble.
It's funny because like when you mention things like Hans Zimmer, like that's kind of how I would define his style, where he incorporates some pretty traditional uses of the orchestra, but throw in some, electronic, underlying elements, and yeah, got this Hans Zimmer sound.
So I've kind of sold it up. Your tubular bells, your trap door hi-hats, your hollow pumper, and together with the lap swells ensemble and the Steinway Grand, can give you an idea of what the backing's like.
No, see, finally, the moment you add those things in, I completely lose the trap Lil Wayne element.
There's gonna be a lot of that in this episode. Shit.
I mean, if anything, you should be so happy with promoting.
So that creates that kind of backdrop, right? But we need more urgency other than just the trap. So we've got the BBC violins here. And they are on, what do you call this? Spiccato.
Where you get that kind of sense of urgency because they're such quick,
little
jagged strokes.
which to me is kind of a Hans Zimmer Dark Knight ripoff as well.
Little.
So they're just like 2 strikes per note. Yeah. So we'll hear that.
it's a higher register than what you were playing, so the urgency is it's a lot more.
But that's still small, right? So let's add in the violas and the cello. And now you thicken it up. And we also have the second violins here, which are creating a bit more of a texture, I guess, because they're using the long notes. I don't know what I'm pointing, you'll see on the screen.
So did this section, specifically the violins too, did this come up during the that slow cool down section?
Yes, they were already, but in the slow section they're playing. Like single notes, whereas here we've got them playing, you know, chords. Which
Well, when you isolate them on their own, they sound like something that would fit that quiet section as this gradual build up, a very somber. But having it underlying all that, you know, super fast, you know, bum 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 bum, like I think it actually really accentuates the tension.
Like, I don't know whether this is you know, the traditional classical way to do it, like what I've done. So like violins 1 play the, right? And then same with violas and cello in the respective octaves. And then your violins 2, we've got like a slightly low there, the lower note, the bass, and then playing with like dyads. Which I find gives it this really nice lush, but not covering too much of the lower frequency so that we can still hear the cellos come in. You know, doing...
I didn't really understand that, but that's alright, people will.
And we've got our BBC basses, which are following what the violins 1 and 2 are doing, just playing 2 octaves of the root notes. I don't know where it went.
It's too high, bruv.
Oh, that's right.
What a grand sound.
What a great sound, right? Like seriously, this... I don't know how much of this is going to come through the camera mic, but that rumble...
Well, when you get such a low frequency and that quality of sound, that you don't just hear it, you kind of feel it in your chest a little bit.
I mean, now if I play the basses together with violins too... Summon Beelzebub.
It's such a full sound, you know, because I mean this, you know,
you choke on the sound.
You do
choke
choke
on
on
the earlier episode.
Yeah, we're getting lazy with our jokes here. But you know, like I think you know, it's so great to hear how the individual components kind of start out, and when they come together, because they're all kind of playing the same thing on various octaves, they really come together as one sound, and that's just delightful.
And we also bring back, I really love them, the BBC tubular bells.
That's my favorite.
Oh, they don't go that low.
Can you do some cameraman fan service and play that ding doo doo ding ding doo doo ding dong. Boom, boom. Sorry, I'm getting carried away here. Fucking love those tubular bells, mate.
So what have we got them playing here? Let's see.
I'm sure this is intentional, but I did notice something from that where the first few dung 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 dung, it's kind of, you know, a little bit more muted, a little bit more subtle, and then once it got to about the third one, it was as if the bells were struck harder with more intentionality. And
that is something I love about BBC stuff. Like, they've recorded so many different samples at different velocity strikes and all that, and it's so sensitive to how you play.
It's like a clitoris, mate. Okay, the harder you flick, the louder it seems.
You know, like, it's really sensitive to your touch. So it kind of really captures a lot of that feel, like how you want to build it up. Because like a real person playing, as the song ramps up, they can't help it. Like, you know, if they get into the song, they're gonna start hitting these bells harder.
Well, it's required for the feeling as well.
So they're just accenting certain notes over what's happening. So let's see, what else did I put in here? What is this?
Well, so far we've covered the violins, or the strings. We've covered the holopampa, mate, and your trapdoor.
And tubular bells.
Tubular bells.
There's one more violin here.
So, well, no, we covered violins too, but it's actually cool to hear when you pick and choose select parts of the song. You could almost use the violins too combined with the tubular bells for its own segment if you wanted to do a super long complex composition.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things you said to me at the start is don't make this 10 minutes.
Yeah, because I know you could. and this really proves it.
And that's where it's, ironically, you know, it's not hard to write a long song, a 10-minute song. You can just let yourself ramble on. It's hard to write a 10-minute song where every second of it's worth being there. A great example, I think, in film is look at Lord of the Rings. It's essentially a 10-hour movie, but there's no dead air. There's no point where you feel like this was an unnecessary scene. And it's always engaging. Like, if you could stay awake, you could sit for 10 hours and not feel bored.
Oh, you're talking about the whole trilogy?
Yeah.
That's fucked. But in terms of like, the only thing I would say with Lord of the Rings, like trying to do a fucking marathon, is just your caffeine levels and, you know, how sleepy you were.
But it's also like, look, is it, in that case, it was necessary for it to be that long? I didn't think it was necessary for this to be a 10-hour song for the story and the emotions we wanted to convey. So I then had to be very, kind of very strict with the choices I made. You know, how many sections do we want to go into? We had enough of a build-up, we've had that much of a breakdown, now we want to ramp up.
And, you know, and I can see how it's tough where you're working with so many elements and, you know, different complementary and contrasting sounds with this, that, like, take that one moment, for example, where I said you could take violins too and tubular bells and make it its own section.
Yeah.
But you also have to, you know, discern what you want to use. And in this case, you want to use it to accentuate this big, grandiose conclusion.